From the public meeting in December, Tyndall went back to the drawing board, making some adjustments. The main change adds a requirement to the proposal calling for the reassessment of any risk every 48 hours to see if that restriction to the water is still needed. The second is allowing for a process for business owners to gain access to the water during these closures. But tonight, more questions were asked and some were left unanswered as citizens in Mexico Beach listened in.
Your hands were caught in the cookie jar. It was going to be passed and gone under without anybody. The public was going to be notified after the fact.
It was another heated exchange between Tyndall officials and Bay County citizens. At the forefront is a proposal drawn up by the Army Corps of Engineers allowing the base a 500-foot buffer along their shoreline in case of a threat to the installation.
We're talking about those levels of threats where the installation commander has to balance the protection of the personnel on the base as well as the community and making sure that we're still generating air power here at Tyndall Air Force Base if the need arose.
The base would be able to close the water and detain unabiding civilians if the restriction was put into place. But according to officials, the need would be based on the presence and size of the threat.
We're talking about a very limited scope or very limited portion of the water that we feel like we need to have a buffer, if you will, to best protect Tyndall Air Force Base and its ability to generate air power.
It appears that the military gains very little security and the public loses liberty. And that's my main concern. This is an awful lot of shoreline that honestly is mainly bordering uninhabited property, and there's just no real good reason for this.
Those in the audience tonight seem to share the same sentiment as many left the meeting with questions still unanswered.
I think if they'd gone about with a notification process initially with all the public instead of people finding out about it after the fact, that some of these meetings they're having, everything, there wouldn't be people so riled up.
It's that history added to the country's current perception of government that for some adds to the uncertainty of what the future might bring.
But there's a lot of mistrust as far as the government nowadays, and the public feels like that talk is cheap.
The Army Corps of Engineers provides a window for public feedback before this is added to the Code of Federal Regulations. News 13 will keep you updated on when and how you can voice your concerns.
Corey DeBridnia tonight. Thank you, Corey. Bay County draws millions of gallons of water out of Deer Point Lake every single day. It's the county's primary source of